Thanks, Corin, I forgot.
No problem. So just in revision, because we forgot to turn on the recording, the Vice President Education drives the first 6 goals, and those are inclusive of 4 members completing a level 1, another 2 members completing a level 2, 2 more members completing a level 2, 2 members completing a level 3, and then 1 member completing either 4, 5, or DTM, and then 1 more member completing a 1, 4, 5, or DTM. And we also, for the recordings purposes, never, ever, ever refer to these as points, because points drive numbers and tasks and don't create behavior that we really would like to drive, which is goal-centered, people-centered, human-centered, helping people to achieve their goals. And so let's go back to Ivo to tell us what the other 4 goals are that we would be driving as members and club officers in order to meet the 10 goals.
Cornelia, is your hand up again, or is it up from last time?
No, it is up. Before we proceed, I wanted to ask Karen, why can't we say level 1, 4 members, level 2, 4 members, instead of saying 2 members and additional 2 members? Is there a reason for that?
It's just the way the goals are structured, and then you would only have 9 goals and not 10 goals.
Okay, I always wanted to ask because it is always emphasized like that.
Yeah, no,
it's just that level 1 is a goal, and to achieve, because you can see it says there, the first goal is level 1 awards. You need 4 of them. The second goal is level 2 awards. You need 2 of them. I think it's just the way it's been phrased in on the DCP program.
Yeah. Okay, so we were trying to work out what's goals 7, 8, 9, and 10. So is somebody willing to tell us?
I can tell if somebody else doesn't want to do it.
Okay, tell us.
So the first one is the membership, the 2 membership goals, which is it's the 4 new members plus 4 new members. And my opinion is that those are incremental, because so that clubs can almost get, some clubs may not be able to get both of those, achieve both those goals. And that's why there's 4 members and then another 4 members, the same as with the levels. And then that's the club officer training, the 2 periods of training attended by at least 4 officers. And that's the president and all the EXCO members really driving that goal, but it's the president who must motivate the members, the EXCO members to attend. And the last one is your administration goal, and that is to submit the renewals on time and also submit the club officer list for the new Toastmasters year on time.
Corin, you muted, but can I expand on that? Magdalene, that's right. The reason there's 4 membership goals and another 4 membership goals in theory is because statistically at every semi-annual dues season, you will lose 20% of your members. So if you are on a full membership of 20, you will probably lose 4 members. Hopefully you never will, but statistically that's what happens. So if you manage to get 4 new members in, then you replace those that are likely to leave, and then you get another 4 new members in and replace those that are likely to leave. And with any luck, at the end of the year, you have 8 more members than what you started with, but you will lose a couple of members.
Yes, definitely. And so it's important. So the VPE also is partly responsible for that goal about club officer training, because you need to attend club officer training as your club officer responsibility. And you need to help the rest of the exco to make sure that all the other admin pieces are done. And you can bring guests to the club. It helps to build the membership. So while you're directly responsible for these 6, you're also indirectly responsible for the other 4. Okay, are there any other questions that anybody has about what goals are?
There's nothing additional in the chat at this stage.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I want to help you to unpack what's behind this particular aspect here. Because if you don't know that for level 1, one member needs to do a number of different assignments, how are you going to plan that and make sure that everybody delivers what they need to do? You also need to, from a club success plan, be planning out what you need to, who is going to be able to help you to achieve these goals. Now, we said that you need 4 level 1s. Life happens, and as Lynette said, somebody might leave, or there might be something else going on in people's lives, and they're too busy, so they don't get to do this particular, they don't get to finish what they need to finish. So you want to not be tracking only 4 level 1s. You probably need to be tracking between 6 and 8 level 1s, so that you've got backup people who can help you as a club to achieve this particular thing. Does that make sense to everybody? And then so on for level 2, level 3. Now, what you also want to do is you want to have a multi-year strategy. So let's say some of your members, will finish at the end of level 2 in this Toastmasters year, ending on the 30th of June. Then you will use those members' names on next year's plan to help you to achieve level 3, 4, 5. So you need to have a multi-level strategy that helps you to connect into this and track that on this particular document that you would be running for your club success plan. Okay. Also, you need to know what is involved in each of the different levels. And so at level 1, the new level 1, there are 5. And I keep forgetting to fix the slide. There are actually 5, and if you count number 4 there are 6 different assignments people need to achieve in order to achieve level 1. That means there's 6 meetings involved in one person achieving a level 1. There are 6 meetings involved in one person achieving level 1, and that's if they deliver at every meeting. Many people do a speech and then a roll and then a speech and then a roll. It could take you 12 meetings to get to one person delivering their level 1 from scratch. So understanding this and helping your member to plot out at least 6 months, if not the whole year, of when they're going to deliver assignments and roles for their club. So maybe, Lynette, you can give us an indication from your perspective, what are some of the strategies you've used when you are VPE in your club, or any of the other VPs is in your club, to help your member to achieve this particular level 1?
Corinne, in my opinion, there's a number of different strategies. The one that I like the most is if you are able to pair new members who join at more or less the same time, pair them up so that they work together, they compete subtly against each other, and they motivate each other. And then what you can also do is you can have one mentor working with 2 people if they are working together. So for me, that has been the most successful strategy in getting people to level up. The other strategy is the Level Up campaign that we ran last year, and we are running again this year, is to instill the excitement or the challenge in people to complete a level in the first 3 months of the year. So that is July, August, and September, if they can complete a level. And for somebody who's just started in Toastmasters, or who started just towards the end of your last Toastmasters year, that is perfectly doable. It's really not difficult to finish a level 1 in 3 to 4 months. So if they started last year, they can pair up. So pairing up and being challenged by that. And the other thing that is very successful, but you have to be more careful with it, is speak to the member. Find out how often they can speak. Encourage people to speak at every second meeting that you have, and do a role at in the meetings in between, and hold them accountable. Holding them accountable is where your mentor comes in, working with a VPE, because sometimes life happens and it can be a little difficult holding people accountable, but that's up to you. Do it subtly, get to know the people. So don't just sort of say, oh, you missed your session, you didn't deliver a speech. Go back to them, find out why they didn't, when they can reschedule. So for me, those are the 3 most important ways of getting the progress that you need.
Yeah, and that is exactly how we do it, is if you have a plan out, so here we're actually planning this, and we're saying, okay, the first meeting that the guest arrives, you maybe ask them to participate in table topics if they're comfortable to do that. In their second meeting, you give them something simple to do in the meeting, because if people are engaged in the meeting and they deliver something meaningful, they're more likely to come back than if they sit there as an observer. So possibly in the second meeting, you give them something easy like the timekeeper, the counter, you know, maybe even a table topics at that particular session. At the third meeting, you want to get them to already start to deliver their icebreaker. In many clubs, we even ask people to deliver the icebreaker before they've even joined as a member, because we've often had, especially in a corporate environment, where somebody delivers their icebreaker, sign up, they deliver their icebreaker speech, and then we never see them again because they suddenly realize there's some work that needs to be involved. So we prefer to make them do their icebreaker speech before we go through the process of signing them up as a member. Then maybe in their fourth meeting, you either give them a meeting role, or you give them the second speech that they need to do, which is write a speech with purpose, because we want to get them quickly into the habit of delivering speeches. And then, of course, they need to do vocal variety. And then I get them to evaluate somebody else's icebreaker, because by then they've done 3 speeches. They've seen a couple of people evaluating. And so I then ask them to do the evaluation of somebody else's icebreaker, then deliver their speech for feedback, and then they need to apply that feedback. So that's 9 meetings, which, as Lynette said, is about 4 months worth of meetings if they're attending 2 meetings in a month. If you only have 1 meeting in a month, it of course takes you a lot longer to get your members to the end of level 1. But don't feel overwhelmed here, because you should be running 4 to 6 speeches at every single meeting that you have. So if you get people to buddy up, just like Lynette said, then you could have 4 new people that over a 4-month period will finish their level 1 if they're delivering their speeches consecutively. And then, of course, in between, when they're doing a meeting assignment, you've got other people delivering speeches in those particular meetings. And then if we move on to say, okay, now I've completed level 1 and I'm moving into level 2, there's only 3 assignments in level 2. So here, it's by the end of month 7, they've probably completed level 2. So it's just over 6 months. And if they start visiting other clubs at that point, they could even fast track that and make sure that they get even more opportunities to speak at other clubs. There are many new clubs that struggle to get people to speak, or some struggling clubs that struggle to have people speaking. And if you're on the VPE group that advertises meetings that are coming up and roles that are available, you can get your speakers into this virtual world and join meetings anywhere in the world, and they can then be signed off on these assignments, making sure that they get their evaluation form so that the VPE can sign them off. Under level 3, there's 3 deliverables. And so here, and of course, that's against the predefined list of electives, which they would select 2 of those electives plus their compulsory speech. So now level 3 is probably completed at the end of about 10 months. Again, as I said, you could be fast-tracking people by sending them on to go and deliver assignments at other clubs. And then level 4 is only 2 speeches, but there's also a requirement here that you deliver Toastmaster, the table topics, and the evaluator. But if you had in the previous session in level 1 and 2, every second meeting they're delivering a role, by the time they get to level 4, they've already delivered those pieces. And then again, these are bigger assignments, so it takes a lot longer for people to finish that compulsory speech and that level 4 elective. I mean, manage online meetings, that takes some set up, but of course they could be the Zoom master for one of your club meetings. That could work, provided they did end-to-end organization of that. But things like public relations strategies and writing a compelling blog, that's going to take a little bit of extra work before they can deliver those assignments. So in this particular case, I even get my guys, when they get to level 4, to already start their second pathway again at level 1, so that they continue to develop and continue to deliver speeches, just maybe then, gives them a bit of opportunity to work out the logistics of some of these bigger projects. And so by the end of 11 or 12 months, they finish level 4, and then they move into level 5, which is about 3 big projects. Again, there's some electives that they need to work with, and I mean they're big ones, lessons learned from moderating a panel, preparing to speak professionally. They're quite meaty projects that are going to take them a little bit of time to set up and may need your help in doing that. And so here, you're probably looking at about 1.5 years, 2 years for people to finish their up to level 5 from a holistic point of view. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I wanted to check if there were any questions, and if you are clear on how you need to plan effectively in order for your members to meet their requirements, because if they meet the requirements, the club, area, division, and district DCP goals will automatically be met, because it's all based on your members achieving level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So any questions? Nanette?
Corin, I have a question or a comment sort of thing. Is the beginning of the Toastmasters year, which is past and it should have been done already, you sit with your members and you ask them and you plan your schedule based on what they want to achieve. So get them to visualize their own goals and their own progress and put it down, because then they've developed that goal and they're motivated to achieve it. But then what I also do is the first meeting in January that you have again, I revisit that and I say, these are the plans you had. This is what you wanted to achieve at the beginning of the Toastmasters year when we met and spoke about it in July. How are you measuring up? Are you still happy? Have you changed? How do you want to revise this? And if you're on track or ahead, that's fantastic. And it's quite important, in my opinion, to revisit everyone's goals in January. And the other thing that I do is I plan to try and finish by March or April. June is too close to the edge of the crevice, and you can fall off. So if you're planning to achieve your year's goals by the end of March or April, and life happens, you've got another month, you've got 2 or 3 meetings still to get it organized and to pull yourself back on track. Because if you plan up until the last meeting in June and something happens, then you are likely to miss the target that you have for the end of the year.
That's a great tip, Lynette, and well done for that. The other thing that I would add to what Lynette has said is that you as the VPE don't have to do this on your own. You have mentors. If you have a mentorship program, your mentors can be the ones that are helping to keep your members on track with their goals. They can be having the conversation. You have that friendly competition that Lynette was talking about between the buddy system, where they have friendly competition about, oh, I finished level 1, where are you? Excuse me. You also have your vice president membership that can also be helping your members to say, you set a goal for yourself. Where are you in that goal? We noticed you haven't attended 2 or 3 meetings. How can we support you in this process? Your president should be hugely inspirational at every single start and end of the meetings to say, look how today you've stepped one more step towards your ultimate goal of being a speaker who's at a distinguished Toastmasters level, or somebody that's finished level 1. You recognize and reward every time somebody meets a milestone. Those things are what keeps you on track with those goals. And educate your members around these goals. Give them a sense of pride that our club is meeting the goals, and I contributed to that in some big or small way. And that will, behavioral stuff, which I said was human-centered, is far more likely to be inspirational and drive the goals than it is when you're driving points and numbers. And Lynette, I see your hand is up.
My hand is up again. Sorry. What Karen said about recognition and rewarding, what is really great is when a person finishes a level, print their certificate, get a level completion ribbon from the stock custodian, take that certificate with a ribbon, frame it, and hand it to the person if you have to be meeting in live meetings, but then present them their completion certificate with a ribbon in it. And it's wonderful because they can hang that up in their wall in their office or on their wall at home or something, and it drives them to complete the next level and so on, to complete all the different levels. It's recognition and reward, and it motivates people.
Any questions about DCP goals? How to drive the behavior around people achieving those goals? And how to track and reward those goals. And how to plan to achieve them. Every single EXCO meeting, you should be talking about that and saying, have we moved forward on our track? And who's lagging behind? Who can have the conversation with the member to check if they're okay? Because you don't want to be pushing people if they're not okay. You know, we had somebody whose wife passed away, and he had promised that he would finish level 3, and he had 1 speech to go. You know, you can't then go, well, sorry, your wife died, but can you just come and deliver your speech, please? You can't do that. So, you know, who's going to have a conversation? And the conversation that I've been having with him is, how are you? Are you okay? Is there anything the club can do to support you? So it's far more human, and he will come back at some stage and he will deliver what he needs to deliver. But right now, my role is to support him as a human being, not as somebody who's going to come and deliver an assignment that's going to get me a goal. This audience is too quiet. Who am I going to pick on?
Karen, we're at 10 to 2 already, just about. So I'm not sure how much time people still have left. My time is getting few.
Yeah, we normally finish, we do a 25 minutes to 30 minutes presentation, and then until 2 o'clock we do questions and answers, which is why I'm saying none of these people are too quiet, so they're not asking us questions. So Charles, I think you're from Florida Toastmasters and emailed me this morning. Tell us what this brings up for you. What does this mean for you, and what will you personally do differently going forward?
Hi, good afternoon, ladies. Yeah, no, I'm still very new to this. I'm still a little bit all at sea, which is why I'm trying to take in as much information as possible. But you're correct. I have been trying to gather as much information about our members, where they are at present, so that I know where we're working from, so that we can, just build a plan to say, or put a plan in place to say what we need to achieve at least by December, so that we know what we need to then do in the second half of the Toastmasters year.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's a bit of a building process for me and a learning process for me, but I'm getting a lot of support from the senior members who have at least been here for a while. So I'm talking to a lot of people, and it's all about asking questions and just, being ahead of the curve in a way.
Okay, great. Thanks, Charles, for that. Okay, Edibone, tell us what you learned today, and what are you going to do differently?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to fellow toasties. What I've learned today, after you've indicated the number of projects per level that we need to achieve, it actually scared me a little bit, but at the same time kept me thinking of the strategies that I'm going to use to encourage the members to be able to work towards that. For an example, the first one on level 1, you indicated that it's going to take 9 months, and I'm thinking now I need to do my open house and try to attract more people. And I'm thinking in that 9 months, how best can the vice president and the mentors that we've allocated are going to assist those people to make sure that they achieve their level 1, which is key. But then I liked the tips shared to say you can encourage them to go and present in other if maybe your club can really assist. It's a lot. And grateful tips, obviously, to help us attain the goals ultimately. And I'm confident it's doable. Thank you very much.
Super. Thanks, Kedibone. Madeleine, what did you learn today, and what will you do differently?
I think it's just the fact is that one need to plan. The advantage of the Breakfast Club is that you meet every week. So, but it doesn't necessarily mean that people can do their speeches that much faster, because they also need time between speeches. But at least there are more opportunities for people to speak, and it does, in a way, it does help that rhythm of doing a speech and then doing a role in between. Yeah, I think it's just that for me, it's constant reinforcement how important it is to work with the member themselves and help them, as Lynette said, visualize in a way their goals. And that's where the time goes in. If one can do that, then it's almost like you set yourself up for success. Visualize it with them, put it down, and then book your meetings in advance. The best is to try and just get those meetings booked. I was also going to ask if other clubs, if, for instance, for Charles, who was saying it's all new, if you use EasySpeak, because if you do use EasySpeak, you've got your in EasySpeak, you've got your goals chart, your pathways chart, which is a very quick way of seeing where all the members are with their progress, what projects they still have outstanding to complete goals. And what I've noticed when we were doing our success plan is there's often somebody was just shorting one speech to do a level 2 or whatever, and you can very quickly build up a little bit of goals, and it's working with that member and then saying, oh, well, you were close to level 2, and maybe they didn't even really work with the levels. So that's an opportunity to re-engage that or have that conversation with them.
Great tip, Madeleine. Thank you for that. So those clubs using Easy Speak, just check that out and see how quickly you can get to your goals. Okay, Helena, you have a question.
Good afternoon. Yes, I do. I was actually paying close attention to what Madeleine is saying, and we have the same thing. It's like the last push for someone to finish the level, either it's level 1 or level 2. I'm also very new on the VPE position. I'm representing multi-choice Toastmasters. And I actually would like to ask something, Karen. Earlier, you were saying that we could try to get our members, our Toastmasters members, to go to other groups or other Toasties groups, so that they could also leverage on having speech and different experiences on other groups. Would this, in our case, since we are a corporate environment, could we do this outside of our corporation environment, like joining another section, another region group for a session or something, or do we need to keep it inside the company? Is there any specific rules for that?
No, Helena, you've got a whole world of Toastmasters
That's fantastic.
everywhere in the world. And this virtual world has opened it up so beautifully for us. So I'm also a corporate club. I'm Standard Bank Operations Toastmasters Club. And we've been going for 30 years in my 32 years in my organization. But during COVID, I delivered assignments in Madagascar, in India. I even did one in China. And you can go and visit any club anywhere in the world, as long as you have somebody evaluate the speech or the delivery of whatever you've delivered, and you ask the evaluator to send you the evaluation form back via email. And then that's what you present to your VP. Now, there are 2 groups that have opportunity for you to connect with other clubs, either advertise roles in your own meetings, or go and advertise and say, I want to go and visit somebody else's club, and you can then connect with those people. I'm just going to see if I can find it, and then I will post it in the chat here for you to go and then join that group.
That would be fantastic.
PM meeting, I need to just look for that. PM meetings. There we go. I just want to pull down the chat, the group information, and then get the link.
That will be fantastic, because it opens a world of opportunities, and we weren't certain. I know a few of us also did that through COVID. Indeed, brought some good things, especially for our online version of Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Karen. I'll be waiting for that link. Thank you.
Okay, except I'm not a group administrator on this particular thing. Let's just read our group joining link. There we go. Granny B actually is very clever. She puts it in the group information. So then it's easy for us to just copy it and just add it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that actually concludes our assignment for today. I'll hang in for 2 minutes, but we are done. I've put the group link into the chat for you to join the WhatsApp group that advertises meeting roles in other clubs. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Lynette will be telling us a little bit about the next batch of learning that we need to do. Please join us every Friday as we teach you more and more about your role, and that you can then connect in with other VPs who can share their knowledge and experience. So have a great Friday, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy. Granny B will upload the recording and the presentation onto the drive, the Google Drive, which is in this WhatsApp group, the VPE training WhatsApp group. Link is there. You can go and access it from there. So thank you, everybody. Have a stunning day. And I see Lynette's back. Lynette, I think we're almost ready to close the meeting, but I'll just hang in 2 minutes to see if there's any.
I have to close it because I've got another meeting at 2. So I'm
Okay.
so sorry I have to leave, and I'm the host. So unless I make you the host.
No,
Let
I
me-
think we're done. Let's close the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.